going to have a conversation this morning about 5 reasons why you should renew your marriage vows in 2023. We've been joined on the set this morning by Hannah Abraham Zapia, who is a pastor and author, a teens and youth educator. Hannah, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Good to have you here.
Good to
Yeah, so take us into the conversation. Why should we renew our vows?
It's a beautiful topic. Why should we renew our marriage vows in 2023?
Yeah.
There are many reasons why people would want to renew their marriage vows. But I would want to look at it from 2 perspectives. First and foremost, because of the stresses that come with life generally, financial stresses, emotional, and then we find ourselves post-COVID. Many people have been stressed in different areas. So one of the reasons why people want to renew their vows is the stresses have had its toll on their relationships, on their homes, and sometimes they want fresh excitement and they want renewal. Sometimes too, marriages have been turbulent. I mean, they didn't even understand the vows. Have you realized that many young people out of excitement get on with the marriage counseling, get on with the vows, and then they get into marriage and like, this is not what I bargained for. Is this marriage? So maturity, proper acquisition of skills, make people now realize that, did I think through the vows? Did I understand what I said? So renewal of vows is important because after a certain time of maturity and experience, you really understand what you are in. You discover that your spouse is not the knight in shining armor that you really wanted, or not the Cinderella that you had planned for, but this is what I got. Do I really want to go and continue this journey? And so these are some of the reasons why people opt to go for renewal of marriage vows.
I know you're a pastor,
okay,
right? But if you're in a relationship, I mean, not married, but you're married eventually, and it starts from somewhere. So let's say you're not married. Can you also look at maybe renewing your promises and commitment to each other, or as a pastor, let's say marriage?
Promise is not binding.
Yeah.
A vow and a covenant is binding.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, unless you made a binding promise, because so long as you are in a relationship, there's no guarantee.
Anything can happen.
Oh, anything can happen. Even on the wedding day, people change their minds.
Yes, okay.
So we always advise and tell people, in fact, counseling, we don't advise, but we draw people's attention to the fact that 24 hours, 1 hour to the wedding, one party can change his or her mind based on the knowledge.
Better a broken relationship than a broken marriage, right?
Very, very
Okay.
true. Because the marriage is now a covenant. That's where it becomes tricky. It's a covenant. And breaking a covenant has too many ramifications. And in marriage covenant, it's not just me and you, but me, you, and God.
Yeah.
And then when you go to the national level, there's a binding legal agreement, the documentation, the legal processes, the covenant principles. It's too much.
You know, people have raised issues. You mentioned earlier that you go into it and you realize that, okay, it wasn't like that. Sometimes when you go for counseling sessions, certain things don't come up.
No.
Your parents won't tell you this. Your pastor won't tell you this, And so to this end, people have suggested that, can't we have the marriage, agree that, okay, 2 years time, every 2 years, we come back and say that we want to do this, we want to continue. I don't know what you think about this. Review, yeah, I don't know what you make of this.
Seriously, I believe in renegotiation.
Okay.
I believe in renegotiation in the sense that when you get married, there's discovery.
Yes.
So you get to discover yourself. Remember, you are growing.
Yeah.
You are unearthing potential. You are gathering experience. So as you grow, you discover the spouse and yourself, new potentials, new experiences. Oh, she actually can do this. Oh, he can do that. Oh, he's more caring. He's an excellent father. Oh, he's a poor homemaker. Oh, she's a bad cook.
Yeah.
When you discover these things, what happens is now you have to make that commitment.
Yeah.
Remember, marriage is not a joke. It's not a game of chance.
Yeah.
Marriage is a legal binding agreement, a commitment between 2 people in the presence of God. So we decide to go into this and we are sticking through. Because when I discover that I don't like A, B, C, D about you, I still want to go through with you. So the whole concept of renewal comes in when the stresses, when the, discoveries are made, but I still want to commit to that initial agreement
Yeah.
I made. And it is important because, you see, there are benefits.
Yeah.
There's this psychological effect. With all the stresses, by the time there's a reaffirmation, there's renewed energy. So there's excitement. There's engagement.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I want you to give us an advice or what you make of, you know, sometimes, David, so you are in, you start your marriage, you know, 2-3 years down the line, you begin to shift goalposts, you know, and one party feels that, okay, you knew these were the issues and you agreed to do this. But in one breath, we grow, we mature. From the beginning of the relationship, I felt I was okay with this.
Yeah.
But with time, I've realized that my needs have changed, my demands have changed. Maybe I didn't even love you this much when we were starting, but 4 years down the line, I love you so much. Now I appear like a very jealous person. And how do we position ourselves as partners, as a couple, you know, to deal with some of these unexpected changes and demands that would come?
Continuous learning, willing to make an intentional input. Marriage is hard work. Marriage is not just a feeling. Marriage is a decision. Marriage is an action.
It's very difficult.
It is. There's nothing easy in life, not even your job.
Yeah.
No, but it's interesting how we are willing to work hard for a lot of things.
Yeah.
But somehow with marriage, people almost feel as though it should be easier than this. And if it's not, then maybe it's not worth it.
It's
But-
because
but-
of the wrong concepts that
But
we
Pastor,
have.
is it
Yes.
not also because, so I decide that I want career progression.
Yeah.
So I want to maybe go back to school. I want to do that. This is my decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, marriage, another person has to agree.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you...
It has to be our decision.
You know, and if you have a person who has decided that, look, you knew that, as for me, I'm A, B, C, and you came in and are not prepared,
But
you know,
I guess that's where
to-
renegotiation
But
comes
if the other
in.
party is not prepared to negotiate...
That's where the problem comes.
Yeah.
And you see, that's where when I take you to Matthew 18, when Jesus said, because of the hardness of your heart.
Yeah.
Certain things were
You know,
allowed.
it from the beginning, it wasn't so. We're supposed to understand each other
Yeah.
for the progress. Because once we get married, it's no longer I, it's we.
Yes.
It's a team.
Yeah.
So your career must enhance our marriage relationship. Your progress should be my progress. I should be actually interested in your development,
Yeah.
and so should you be in mine. But what happens is selfishness comes in. I want to go to school, I want to continue further studies, forgetting that the man is progressing. I have to stay at home, take care of the babies, take care of the home.
Yeah.
Somebody has to earn the money, somebody has to spend. And then when people don't see that we are living for each other, then the unfairness sets in. So it's the hardness of the heart, the selfish nature of man. And this can only be curbed if you know God and you have his nature. Because seriously, if you really don't understand God's love, 1 Corinthians 13, love is kind,
Yeah.
love is long suffering. You see how I stretched it? I mean, I love the tree version. It says, abojocherry, obono adwache. Because you're going to meet things that honestly,
Abojocherry.
it just puts you in uncomfortable situations and throws you off.
Okay.
So with all these situations, that's why this reenactment of the vows comes in. Is like, I know you are like this. I know you are tough. I know you are difficult. In fact, I don't like certain aspects of you, but I am still committed to the relationship.
So how should this come? You know, do we have to go to church and sew another nice dress and go and do it? Is it just about the two of us sit in our bedroom one day and say to ourselves, should we go for a dinner? Should we make it like a special occasion, or we can just sit at home and say that, look, David, tonight, when you come back from work, we have a certain conversation.
Yeah.
And then we come and say, okay, so I'm renewing it. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm forever... what's the form? What's the format?
What's the format? Formats vary based on choice.
Okay.
Now, what I have seen and what people do is people sometimes go back to their pastors,
Okay.
because of, if it is marriage, it's a legal binding agreement. So the aspect of a witness, the aspect of somebody who you call your spiritual leader plays a role. So they go to the pastor. It could be in the church office. It could be just the three of us.
Yeah.
And then they make the vows and recommit themselves. Some actually even bring rings
Yeah.
or exchange gifts. Others in the comfort of their home without anybody, because they believe God is their witness.
Yeah.
God is with me, so me and you. let's change their vows. Those who love gifts, those who love fanfare.
Like me.
They didn't have their dream wedding when they were young.
Yes.
I mean, you didn't have that money.
Yeah.
Then God has blessed you. Now you have it. You have the money to go with it.
Yeah.
So they want to do the party, the fanfare, change 4 or 5 dresses.
Yeah.
That dream wedding. So the variations of the dressing, the party is not the covenant.
Yeah.
The covenant is just the vows.
Okay.
What about those who do it daily? I mean, the best should be the daily
I was
affirmation.
going to ask that, how often should you do this?
It's an affirmation. I promise, I love you.
Is it not going to lose its value? Like every day, oh, hi, David, I love you.
Yeah.
So, and then we fight now, then they go, oh, sorry, but I love you. Then tomorrow we come back and do the same thing again.
It does when you don't commit intentionally to it. Some people, it becomes like a recital.
Yes.
It's like reciting, I believe, the creed. Many people recite the creed without really committing themselves or meaning.
Exactly.
So don't make it a rhyme, but make it something that you have decided to engage. So I have seen this person, I cherish you. In fact, true love has 3 components.
Yeah.
It has intimacy, it has passion, and it has commitment. So I may not be too passionate about you, but I'm committed to you.
Okay.
Or I was committed initially, but now I'm losing commitment because I discover, something, he's not really the guy I want.
Yeah.
But I want to affirm positively that I will stick through it. He lost his job, he doesn't have money, and I realized that, he wasn't the cool guy after all I thought he was. I mean, people are getting surprised every day. People are losing their jobs. Their husbands can't wake up and stand up for their responsibilities. Their wives are not entrepreneuring as they thought. So people are disappointed, even in the church. They said God hates divorce, so we are managing.
Yeah.
Even the reaffirmation of vows or renewal of vows is a good test. Okay. I say sometimes, because if one party brings up a proposal, can we renew our vows? Another person maybe, it's not necessary. Not because it's not necessary. He doesn't want to re-emphasize the vows in his mind he has actually given up on. Yeah. I mean, he's just tolerating you, but nobody knows.
No, could it also not be because that, okay, so I really want to do this, but I'm dealing with a partner who, so let's say for the past 2 years, we keep going back to the same issues. We keep going back. So you do this to me, I don't like it. We raise it, it generates into a fight. After 2 days, 3 days, we come back, I'm sorry. In another month, we are back to the same thing. In 6 months' time, we are back to the same thing. Now you suggest, can we do renewal of vows? When I know the outcome, because I know that this thing that we are going to do, after 3 months' time, we will come back to the same problems. Yeah. How do you deal with this? Should you walk? Because you know the situation won't change.
I will suggest and insist on get counsel. One of the things Africans sometimes throw away is getting healthy counseling. And we are used a lot to freebies. So people will rather walk into a free system than pay for things. So if you say go for professional counseling, for people to guide you through the process of harmonizing your relationships and even revealing your differences and why you are not coming together and helping you to draw from yourself how you will be able to negotiate. People don't do that. I have gone for counseling professionally, so I understand the difference. And we've gone for the general ones that even a lot of pastors, sadly, are not professional counselors. No. They are doing parachurch ministries, and some have not been trained to be able to counsel people in marriage issues.
And could it also not be that in our part of the world, you take your matter to Pastor Hannah, you go cry, you do everything. On Sunday, you are sitting in the congregation and you hear there's a sister here and you get it. Yeah. You hear your case being used as an example. Your name might not even be mentioned, but some people feel embarrassed that, look, I confided in you to say something and I'm using my case as an example, and it's a turn-off.
Not only that, I have too many cases of that. I'm a counselor. Yeah. There was a young girl who wanted to commit suicide and went to talk to her school counselor. The following day, in the morning assembly, they mentioned her name, her dormitory, and the case. Oh. I'm telling you, this is a real case. And so what you said, I'm just buttressing it. Many leaders, many pastors do that. Many counselors even break the code of ethics of confidentiality because I told you
Yes.
The next time you tell your husband, you I can trust.
Yeah.
You won't tell anybody, but you told your husband and your husband told his
Yeah.
office workers. So many people break confidentiality. They break the ethics of counseling. That's why I said from the beginning, get a professional, get trusted people. Fear of also not being vulnerable sometimes worsens things that could easily have been solved.
Yeah.
There are many marriages struggling because they could easily have solved these differences right before you get married. I mean, if you've ever seen, I have a book called Get It Right, Marriage is Not a Game of Chance. Many didn't get it right.
Yeah.
They didn't get the right spouse. They didn't get the right discussions. What are your goals? What are your career objectives? Where are you going to be eventually? How many children? How much money are you going to make? Your in-laws, will they stay with us? When there is sicknesses, who deals with it? What about your security, your pensions? In case there's an upset in the country economically, language difference, they never. So, and these things will come up.
Yeah.
So when they come up, then the problems come.
You're
So
overwhelmed.
that's how come we have a lot of marital stresses. And then I also keep insisting. We have this cultural practice which says, oh,
Exactly.
keep it. So many people are struggling with their issues. They don't speak up. But I believe that there are professional counselors out there, good ones, who can guide you to come out with the skills that will help you to cope with situations. There's some of the situations you can't change.
Yeah.
You have to learn early to accept them. And others, you can go around them. But what happens is we want to change our spouses. We want to change situations. I want it my way. This is how I feel comfortable. But the day you accept that, hey, he won't change, that attitude alone makes things
What
very
if that is
different.
killing you?
It's killing you because you hadn't accepted it. Unless it's abusive.
but
when
there
it's
are-
abusive,
exactly.
don't stay
so,
in it.
So, for instance, it could probably not be a physical abuse, you know,
Oh,
but
emotional,
mentally,
mental,
emotionally,
financial.
Do you get it? So,
Yeah.
if this is what you are dealing with, and you know that it won't change, then what are we talking about here?
If you won't change and you've gone for counseling,
Yes.
you've explored all the options, then at that point, then you need to be able to get another level of help to make the right decision. There are times when even in ministry, they counsel people to separate so that they could gain the sanity or the healing medically. Because if the person is emotionally breaking down, getting depressed, then there is a crisis.
Yeah.
So for crisis intervention, there are medical coping systems that are advised before you move to any other stage. But truthfully, when each person is willing to commit, that's the word, willing to commit, you two people of different backgrounds can't stay together.
You know, there are people who
and
don't have a
succeed.
problem saying I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. But
The,
they'll
the
repeat.
moment you
But-
raise that
but they
topic
don't
now,
necessarily mean it.
exactly.
Yeah.
you
Don't
know.
repeat the problem.
So in this case, then what?
Well, in that case, when it comes so
We'll come to you.
difficult-
That's why you are there. We'll come to you. Hold on.
But I think we should consider renewing our marriages.
Yes.
Because it brings fresh excitement. It brings opportunity to think through our vows. It helps us to renegotiate sometimes and then refocus on our ability to work through. Most importantly, God is love. We are in a month, we are celebrating love this year.
Yes.
And so it will bring fresh energy, it will bring fresh excitement, and surprisingly, that affirmation has a way of bringing healing to
Yeah.
your turbulent marriage that you think is a problem. So I think I would suggest everybody should consider renewing their
I
vows.
think it's nice, you know. Add small party to it.
The party
It's very necessary, you know.
and a cool dress.
You know that.
And
With a
you know,
heart of
please, a
fascinator.
honeymoon you never got. This time it should be that.
Oh, so after renewal, you can go for a
Oh,
honeymoon.
why not? I mean, you are just reigniting the
But we
fire.
have to be renewing our vows every year, you know.
Well, the whole concept
Yes.
of renewal, it sends positive signals into the brain. Oxytocin is released.
Yeah.
There's this freshness about the home. Maybe the same person, but this joy that
Yes,
comes.
yes.
Then that stillness that is coming from stresses, low
Yeah.
finances, school fees, kind of is reduced a little.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
Sounds
Hannah,
nice.
how do people get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me on all my social media handles, Hannah Abraham Sapir. You can also follow me on my website, Teas Books and More. You get access to many
Cheese
of
books and more.
teasbooksandmore.com. Yeah, you get
Okay.
access to my books. You get the book, Get It Right, Marriage is Not a Game of Chance.
Okay.
In case you didn't get it right early. And then you can call me on 054-706-4982.
Okay. But we can trust you with our cases, right?
Oh, you can. Confidentiality is key. We've been trained to do that.
Nice one. Great.
All right, we'll be speaking with Hannah Abraham Sapia. Well, she's also known as Don T, by the way. For those who know, don't know. Don T. Oh, okay. So her name is Tilly.
Okay.
And in Achimota School, people like Bernard Avle, who were her juniors, used to refer to her as Don T because she was the Don, and it was controlling an army of boys.
No, we like that, man. We like it.
That was impressive.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, Don T is, yeah.
No, then we like Don T.
Yes.
It's because I work with guys.
No, we like Don T. Yeah, we like Don T. We like
But
Don
you see,
T.
because I became a pastor's wife, they changed it to Mommy T.
Mommy T.
So that it will sound.
We still like Don. Who told the pastors can be Don, man? We still like Don T. Yeah, we like that.
So I prefer Mommy T.
But I like Don T.
You know that Don T makes you feel like the mother of the boys.
But it's beautiful, you see, and we've let our society, shelve us into something else. But what's wrong if you're a pastor and you are, you are the age, do you know the number of young people who feel comfortable coming to you simply because you are Don T?
I'm the mother. Go to campus today, all the campuses, you'll find me on the young, because I do boys empowerment. That's my new thing.
Because for me,
we are empowering the girls and who marry our daughters.
Those guys.
So now I'm empowering boys.
It's very necessary.
If you have a son out there, bring them.
I have two.
They'll be great guys. When you see my sons I've trained, you pay for them. I mean, the Indian style, the girls pay for my guys.
No, we will do it. We will do it. Look, if we know what we are getting, and we don't mind paying. But sometimes it's the uncertainty.
Them, they are correct. Oh, you have uncertainty with my guys.
No, I'll bring my boys. I'll take a number call because I want to have like
correct.
the guys. Yeah.
I mean, anointed, intelligent, smart at the helm of society.
Exactly.
And then husband material.
Thank you very much. Because on that day when mother of the groom is coming, in all pomp and pageantry, I want to come in chariots.